Hello and welcome back to the Indian PokeTube. And as you can see, I went 5-0 in my first set in the Master League Premier. And this is the team that I've been running for 5 seasons straight. It's the only team I have which is at level 50. Exca is still at level 46, but it puts in so much work. This is Exca like double flyer, and team is going to go absolutely crazy on the meta. Let's see how the battles go. In the first match, we pick up a lead against an Exca mirror, but obviously the opponent has had massively higher CP than me. I'm going to go for a rock slide because obviously the opponent is going to shield a drill run anyway. I lose the CMP as expected because of the CMP difference, and I'm going to go for a rock slide here. If the opponent caught on a fly, it would be really bad. Opponent shields anyway, and guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to catch the drill run on the Gyarados. Let's see if the opponent did the same play as me. He did not. He goes for the drill run, and this is why I like to go for the rock slide because there's so many flyers in the meta. He responds with his own Gary, and this makes me believe this has to be a mirror team because I mean, why else would you bring in your Gary who's like one turn behind? So he brings in his Gary. I get the defense drop, and I'm going to let this go. I'm not really interested in switch because I know the win con is with energy on Exca. So I'm going to let this go. As you saw, I did reach the Aqua Tail, but I thought I'm not going to throw it because I want to get ahead on energy with the Dragonite. So I'm going to tank whatever he goes for. He goes for an Aqua Tail. That's fine. I have an energy lead. So, and let's see what he chooses to bring in. I think he's going to bring in his own Dragonite here at this point because his Exca is dry on energy. Exactly, that's what he does. He brings in his Dragonite, but I am ahead on energy. I'm going to go for this nice Dragon Claw, which does a lot of damage. I could have caught the move, but it was really risky. I didn't want to try that. I know I can win with Exca because my Exca has a lot of loaded energy. I'm going to bring in the Exca. He brings in his own, and I'm just going to go for a drill run here, get his final shield, and I'm going to not CMP him basically. I just want to O-farm by a lot, so I'm not going to CMP him. Exactly, he tries to trap me in a CMP. Great play by the opponent, but I'm not going to fall for that. Overfarm slightly, and then I'm going to go for the drill run. I know the Dragonite is still far away from a move. I'm only 2 much shots away. I can easily reach a rock slide, and that's going to be a great game. So in the first match, we picked up an exact mirror team, and even though the opponent had he had a hundo on each mon, if I'm not wrong. As far as I remember, the Gyarados was a hundo, the Dragonite was a hundo, and we still able to win that game with some crazy plays. Let's go. So we're off to a 1-0 start, and like I said, it's already a 5-0 sweep in the first set. This is the second set, and there's some battles from the third set as well. Pick up a pretty neutral lead against Mamoswine, but Mamoswine is really bad for the backline. I'm going to stay in here, go for the drill run on 6 instead of 5 so that the opponent does not make a catch, and I'm going to try to catch the opponent's high horsepower on the Gyarados, but chances are he's anyway going to go for the avalanche because it's like 2 shots, so no point. Yep, goes for the avalanche, loads up a little bit of energy and brings in his own Gyarados. Now this is not great because his Gyarados is going to get a lot of farm here against mine, so not looking the best because it can Aqua Tail my Excadrill, it can Dragon Breath my Dragonite. Luckily I get the crunch debuff, but I'm not able to farm him down. I'm going to bring in the Dragonite. I'm expecting him to blind throw the Aqua Tail. So let's see if that play turns out right. I think he is going to do that. Yup. He goes for that. So I'm going to absorb a crunch, and then I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to bring in my Excadrill and farm down the Gyarados. The reason is he responded with his own Gary against my Gary. He does not have a fairy, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable with my Exca right now. So I'm going to farm down, get 2 extra mud shots. He brings in a guard chomp. I'm going straight for the drill run. I was expecting the Mamo to come in. So now I'm going to shift my win con to the Dragonite. I know I can win with Dragonite right now. I'm going to go for a drill run here, and this is going to do quite a bit of damage to the guard chomp. Opponent just does not want to shield. There are 4 shields remaining in the game, and guess what? He's going to save his shields, but I can farm down everything. Powder Snow may be double super effective, but Dragonite and Open ML absolutely does super well against Mamo. I'm going to farm down this thick Mamoswine, farm down the guard chomp with the mud shot, and that's a 3 shield flex and a 2 shield reverse flex. Let's go. If that is not proof of how great this team is, I mean, what else could be? Because this is absolutely crazy, guys. If you learn how to play this team, if you learn how to play around it, manage the energy, and you can even come back from hard counter leads, hard counter cities. I'm going to show you a couple of games which were hard counter cities. I mean, you can't beat all of them, and there are quite a few hard counter teams out there like this team. Take a look at this. This is a waterfall Gyarados. I'm going to check the fast move and save switch to my Gary. So this is an absolute nightmare lead. I'm going to go for the crunch. I get the CMP, win the CMP, which is great information. Hoping for the debuff, but I don't get it. This means I can't farm him down. Have to throw a move again. I'm going to shield the first one. It honestly doesn't matter. I can shield either one. We're going to reach the move at the same time. I know we win CMP because we won it the first time round, so I can safely go for the Aqua Tail, grab a shield, which is amazing because this frenzy is not going to KO us, and then we can farm him down. So technically you should shield the next move, not the first one. But I mean, it's fine, it can work either way. In comes the Waterfall Gary. I can get off the crunch, I believe. Yes, I can. It's going to do quite a bit of damage to the opposing Gyarados, but he does get a lot of energy. If he has Outrage, it's not great. I'm going to bring in the Dragonite, respect the Outrage here. Let's see what he has in the back. He's going to go for the crunch and get the debuff. That's not looking great. He brings in the Swampert and I'm going to catch on the Exca. The reason is I've recognized that the win con is with Dragonite and Exca has nowhere to go. Opponent is running a triple counter to Exca. Luckily I can make a drill run. It's going to do massive damage to the Swampy Air and then I can farm down everything and just win the game. Because the opponent's Gyarados does not have enough health to reach an Outrage and he's running crunch anyway, right? Even if he was running the Outrage, he's not going to reach it. You're going to see that. Swampert can't do anything against the big Dragonite. I really feel bad for Goatpert. I mean, if it was the GL, you could just Shadow Swampert could like double Hydro Cannon and take out Dragonite. But this is the ML. This is Dragonite's den Swampert. Welcome to Dragonite's world. We can farm down the Swampert. We can farm down the Gary, but I'm just going to go for the Dragon Claw because why not? He would have reached a crunch after one more Waterfall. I don't think he was making it. He would have only made an Aqua Tail, farmed down the Swampert, and that's a great game. So even though we had a very bad lead, a hard counter lead, we were able to come back and win the game. And there are quite a few matches like that. We get a Tapu Bulu. I'm going to throw a berry on him. Go for an excellent. I don't catch him, so screw it. I'm going to go for the next battle here, and this is the fourth battle, right? So we've gone 3-0 so far. Let's see if we can make it 5-0. This is going to be up against a Magnezone. Amazing lead. I remember this match. He safe switches to a Machamp. I'm going to bring in the Dragonite and I'm super comfortable. I'm like, if he builds up to Stone Edge, I'll respect it, but just a Rock Slide. So obviously Machamp can't flip this, right? Goes for the Rock Slide, does quite a bit of damage. It's not Shadow, it's not Stone Edge. I'm going to CMP him on the Dragon Claw on 5 counters. I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw here and the opponent actually shields, so I'm scared now. I'm like, can he actually flip this now? And I was regretting not shielding the Rock Slide because I didn't want to give him a shield advantage. So I'm going to go here again. I'm going to go for my Dragon Claw just before he reaches his next cross chop. If he shields, it's going to get very tight, but he does not. He lets it go. I think I would have won anyway, but I was scared. In comes the Magnezone. I'm going straight for the super power. No baiting here. Let's go. Boom, it does 85% damage to the Magnezone and he can farm me down, but that energy is going nowhere. In comes his Waterfall Gyarados. I bring in my Dragon Breath Gyarados. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Just like Home Slice Henry says, we triple hard countered that poor opponent. Really feel bad for him. There's nothing you can do in that match, honestly. You have to hope that the opponent makes a major misplay. That's the only way you can win, honestly, if the opponent makes a major misplay. And then in the 5th match, I got a call. I don't remember. Oh yes, I did get a call from a friend and that match was completely lagged out. Anyway, I'm going to show you a couple more battles in the next set. Pick up a very good lead against the Florges, and I was thinking, I don't know if it's Florges or Florges. I'm going to CMP him on the Moonblast, and I was like, if he's not switching out, he has to be weak to Exca in the back. He has to be. So I'm going to switch out at some point, especially when he shields this. Especially the fact that he shielded his little Flower Boy tells me he has to be weak. I can tank the Moonblast. Luckily, no attack drop. Then I'm going to go for another drill run just before he reaches his next Moonblast, I think. And it's going to land here, do about 50% of his health. I can shield the next move. Even if it's a disarming voice, I can outpace. I always outpace this little Flower Boy. And I can overfarm quite a bit here because he went for the Moonblast. And if he lets this go, which he's going to, I'm going to safe switch instantly to my Gyarados to draw out that guy who's scared of him. In comes the Mamoswine, and just like that, we draw out the Magnezone. I was absolutely sure he had something weak. I was expecting Metagross, honestly, but he has Magnezone, which is great because I have baited him out, and he has to throw a move, that to a Wild Charge. If he goes for Mirror Shot, I can survive this and reach a crunch, and he's going to waste all that energy, so he's forced to go for a Wild Charge. This means he's not going to make a second move against Exca. Can bring in the Exca, tank the Wild Charge, farm him down before he reaches a third move, and I can get a shield or do massive damage to the Mamo with the drill run. So I'm going to go straight for the drill run. I would have died if I went for fast move. Go for the drill run. If he lets it go, which he does, now I can just farm him down with my Dragonite. He's not going to reach the back-to-back avalanches which he needs to win, and Dragonite nom 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 eats up the big thick boy, and I'm able to take that win. So like I said, Exca is a pretty big beast in the meta, and this is going to be the final battle in the video. If you guys are enjoying this content, do drop a like, a subscribe, share it with your friends and do all that fun stuff, because we do put a lot of work and effort into these battles, and I hope that you enjoy it. In the final match, we pick up a lead against a Waterfall Gyarados. I'm going to check the fast move and safe switch to my guy, the Gary. Opponent responds with the big thick boy, the Snorlax. I'm going to go straight for the crunch. If I get the debuff, I can win this. This is the only scenario I can win, but I don't get the debuff. This is horrible. Now the Snorlax can go straight booty slams, take out my big Loch Ness monster, but I'm just going to try to make some plays here. Alright, so I'm going to stay in here. Opponent can reach body slam after body slam. Not much I can really do. So he goes for the body slam, but I can bait because I think crunch plus dragon breaths might KO. He might be scared here, so I'm going to go for an aqua tail bait at this point. I get the shield and I think I can reach a crunch now. I commit to the crunch and reach the crunch, and I think he's going to like double shield, and spoiler alert, he's going to double shield, which makes me realize it's all up to Dragonite now. He has kept switch. I cannot do anything with my Exca because he has switch advantage, so the only way to win is if I can win with my Dragonite. So it's going to be Dragonite versus 3 Mons. I tank the super power. I am going to tank this move as well. If it's a body slam, I survive. I'm going to save the Exca. It is a body slam. I survive with 1 HP. Bring in my Dragonite, and he has a Golden Go. So it is a hard counter for Dragonite. But guess what? We are 2 shields up, and Golden Go is slow to the charge moves. So I'm going to go for Dragon Claw. It does quite a bit actually, considering that it's resisted. And this is a Dragonite showcase in the final battle. I'm going to shield everything here. I can cast the outrage of the Gary on the Exca. In fact, I can snipe the Gary with a rock slide. I have a loaded rock slide, remember that. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable here. So I can shield the Shadow Ball over massively at this point. Go for the Dragon Claw just before he reaches his next Shadow Ball. KO him, and now all I have to do is snipe the Gary. So now Waterfall is a 3-turn move, and I can switch and throw the move, I think, without any problem. Let's see if I can do that. In comes the Gary. I'm counting his moves carefully. And I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw and try to snipe him with a rock slide after this. That's my play. And as you see, I don't get that off. I think that's my fault. Opponent goes for an Aqua Tail, which is questionable. I'm guessing he thought he will not make the outrage before I make the back-to-back moves. But that is a misplay by the opponent. He panicked right there and he lost track of Dragonite's energy, and that's going to win us the game. Because now I can reach a Dragon Claw in the Snorlax, and Dragonite casually sweeps 3 Mons, and that's a great game, great match. See you guys in the next one. Let's go.